Now, let me explain why uh, Revelation chapter 4 have some significance and President Barack Obama sending troops over in Afghanistan. And it shows here where God got the victory, gained the victory. Isaiah chapter 14 and chapter 21, one speaks of the Lamb and one tells you that he had to go up, was going up on the brink of the earth. And chapter 21, where God broke the staff, I didn't read that part because it was kind of long drawn out of Isaiah. It tells you where he broke the staff of Mr. Babylon, of Babylon. If you go to the book of Habakkuk will also speak concerning Mr. Babylon. This is the United States of America. And also in Daniel chapter 11, he tells you the season and the time it was that this nation, who was Mr. Babylon, would divide the land for gain. In other words, they had went through the breadth of the earth, conquering and to conquer and conquered, and at the end, it had not enhanced them. So what they did was the dollar of the economy had fell slack and was falling down, and rather than to fall and to accept their faith, they went and taken this land for the oil-rich nation. What they did was they came in with the law of democracy, trying to democratize this nation, to use their law of democracy as an attachment that they may attach themselves unto the biblical cord of the seed of Abraham. Now, all who didn't agree to take on this law of democracy, as President Barack Obama said the other day, that it's only in the interest of the United States of America that he's concerned about. If you're forcing somebody to take on your law of democracy, you don't care about his human rights. You're not concerned about him being treated equal in the United States, in the world. You're making yourself gods over this people. Just as long as you have your way and you can attach yourself through your law on the biblical cord of the seed of Abraham, then as they be blessed by God, you be blessed because you don't attach yourself onto it. As John McCain said, don't let them stay over there till they gain victory. His version of victory, until every last one of them that resists us be slain. It doesn't matter if it takes the last man standing. If he had to be put to death, we'll put him to death and gain victory, even if we take his land and we be the only soul left. This is their terminology for victory. In the book of Habakkuk, it tells us that they judge a man more righteous than he, and they put their land up high. So what happened here was, once these nations who built weapons and trust and serve in their weapons of mass destruction, that graven image spoken of in Isaiah chapter 21, this became their God. The dominant strength became their God, and they said within their heart, no one can bring us to justice. And when they did these here things, they decided they put an embassy in Iraq. This alone let us knew that they was not coming back from Iraq. They was planning on taking that land. Not occupied, but taking the land, because it was the only natural resource left in the world beside that which is in South America. They couldn't afford to take and conquer this place and leave it when their industrious in their economy depends on the natural resource of crude oil. It is vile. So there was no coming back, and they saw this rather than to accept their laws, they rather transgress against God and take the land through fabrications of lies. That's what it was. And nobody bring them to justice. Nobody called them to justice. This is what's happening today. Because there is beyond judgment here on earth. I said in some of my own recording, followed the Bible prophecy, 3 stages, Revelation, chapter 4, space shuttle is identified by the man, the lion, and the eagle. These are the primary signets. Secondary signet is the calf. And as Ezekiel chapter 10 is identified, chapter 10, verse 1, not verse 1, chapter 10, the space shuttle is also identified by the man, the lion, and the eagle as the primary symbol, with the cherubim being the secondary symbol. Ezekiel chapter 1, where the first flight began, the space shuttle is identified by the man, the lion, and the eagle, with ox being the secondary symbol. In other words, the primary symbol which identify the space shuttle is the man, the lion, and the eagle. When you go to these various verses, but what the secondary symbol symbolize is the stage where this prophecy is speaking of. It's just like a milepost. That's the reason when I wrote my last book, I believe volume 4, I said put space shuttle on there as a end of time timepiece. And it tells you there in Revelation chapter 4 that during the range of the space shuttle, before they scrapped the space shuttle, God gained victory over the United States of America. Now, what this tells us, by the United States of America getting ready to send 30,000 soldiers, alleged soldiers, over into Afghanistan, but these are really not soldiers according to Daniel chapter 7. It's the horn with the little eyes and its forces, which supposed to take over the first forces, which was the Air Force, Army, Navy, and Marine. But this here was the CIA is the one going to take over. It tells you that in Daniel chapter 7, I believe verse 7. Up in there, these are the ones that's going to have the brass fingernails. But you go back to Ezekiel chapter 1. Listen at the secondary symbol was an ox. This meaning it had to have the power of the ox. This meaning that it had to leave the launching pad with the power of the ox because it was an outward flight. It had to have the power of the ox to defy gravity. This is when they were building the space station. Ezekiel chapter 10, when God blew the space shuttle up over Texas, it had a cherubim, but it had 2 wings. This was an inward flight as it was building the space station. It was up on the brink of the earth, but it's coming back down to the earth. This is when they had invaded Iraq, and God blew it up over Texas. But Revelation chapter 4, where it said a calf, the calf symbolized the space station was completed, and they was using it for vain purpose. But I said this, last week, they carried and put the last piece of the space station together. And this week, they sent in 30,000 more troops